I'll just close this so it won't blow.
I had the privilege last year of doing a poem here, and I prepared a poem last year called Be Peace. This year I didn't prepare a poem because I wanted you guys to prepare me to what I would say. So I've been listening to you, and thank you for putting me toward the end because I've gotten a lot of material to speak on. I am going to do a poem, but I want to speak briefly about years ago I wrote a poem called Love versus Fear. And at the end of the poem, I asked God, I said, why it says in the Bible, love never fails. And I said, and you hear, look, all these stones look like a failure of love. Right? If love didn't fail, you would say, well, why we have these stones in the garden? And I said that to about my life. At that time, I was about to go through my second divorce. And the Spirit said in my heart, love never fails, but we too often fail to love. And every stone in that garden is a failure to love. A failure to see that we all are one. And a wise native elder chief said years ago when the Europeans were coming over, and he said to them about war and fighting, he said, I've never seen a tree branches fighting among themselves. Right? You never see tree branches fighting among themselves. But yet humans do. And so today I want to speak on love. And because love is the solution. And what I want to say is that one of the things, I grew up in a Christian background, and one of the things I loved about the stories with Jesus is when they came to him about a whole bunch of rules. And especially at one time a lawyer came to him and he said, what's the greatest commandment? And he said, to love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength. And he said, and the second commandment, in case you don't get that, that's too abstract, love your neighbor as yourself. And being a lawyer, the lawyer said, well, who is my neighbor? And Jesus kind of said, well, since you want to go there, we're going to go there. And he picked a Samaritan, who was probably someone that these people despised and thought was worse than dogs. And Dr. King, when he did his sermon, he said the difference in the parable, there were people that walked over the guy that he was robbed, and people just saw him hurting, and people that were going to church walked over him and said, excuse me, I got to get to church. And but the Samaritan, the person who they considered a dog, their worst enemy, right? In this day, it could be anyone in context. It could be a Bosnian, it could be a Muslim, it could be a transgender person, it could be an African, right? Whoever, and Jesus purposely did that to show, and he said he had compassion on him. And Dr. King said the difference between him and the other people were that the other people saw someone else hurting, and they didn't have compassion on him, where this guy saw himself. And until we see ourselves in our Bosnian brothers, our native brothers, our transgender gay brothers and sisters, we will keep saying that's not our problem, that's not me. But until you can recognize that just like this tree, there's many branches of humanity and being, and that we're all connected. This tree connects many branches, and we're all connected, but we're all grounded in the root of love. So right now I'm going to ask you guys to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and look at, this is a practice we do back home in church. The ministers say, I want you to look at your neighbor and say, I love you.
I love you.
Thank you. How did that feel? Felt good, huh? It lifted everything here. That was a heaviness here, and it's good for us to remember, but it's also good for us to be in joy and peace and love and harmony. So now I'll do my poem. I was going to do my poem based on faith, but then I remember Paul said that if we have the faith to move mountains and have not love, it sounds like a noisy bell. And he said, love, faith, and hope abide, but the greatest of these three is love. So since we have said that we love each other, I'm going to say we allow the wow. That's what my shirt says. A few weeks ago, I was wearing this hoodie, and I was feeling down. And my friend at a market, he looked at me and he kept going, wow, wow, wow. See that? You cannot feel bad if someone says wow. If you can look at your neighbor, if you can look at a transgender person, a Bosnian, a Muslim, if you can look at these people and say, wow, wow, wow. Allow that wow. Because if we don't allow it, we're going to be placing too many stones in here. And you're going to have to get a bigger garden. You're going to have to get a valley. We don't want that. We don't want a valley of stones. So with this love, we can allow the wow. With this love, we can accept each other. We can embrace each other. We can bask in each other's beauty. With this love, we can have compassion on each other. We can dance together. We can excel together. We can have fun and be fantastic together. With this love, we can be generous together. We can be hopeful and helpful and live in harmony together. With this love, we can be intelligent together. We can be irresistible and invincible together. With this love, we can be joyful together. We can be kind together, and kindness will be our religion. We can be love and light together. We can be magnificent together. We can nurture each other, and we can nourish each other and realize that we are all necessary, that we can transcend our gender and live in our splendor. We can walk in love and excellence and in youthfulness. And with this love, we can excel, we can prosper, and we can grow together and become a glorious garden of God forevermore, forevermore, forevermore. Wow!
Wow.
Thank you.